Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is James White, and welcome to the first weekly STARKADE Radio session. This is going to be a thing that we encompass all the news, updates, stories, and play-by-play action as we build out the STARKADE universe. So a big thank you to everybody who's showing up into the chat room. I guess it's not really a chat room, the emoji room, the reaction room, and being here for this inaugural episode. So, like I said, this is going to be a weekly thing. So we're going to run through a lot today, and I'm going to try to keep this digestible. So down within about 20, 25 minutes, something like that, or maybe even quicker. So we'll see how all of that goes. Our lovely CEO, Naomi, is taking care of the STARKADE Twitter account, and she just pinned a tweet to the top of this, and I'm going to be running through a lot of the content that's in that Twitter thread. So if you see that up there and you feel like clicking through it as I'm talking, you can go right ahead. So let's kick this off. I'm not going to be wasting no time. I got a little bit of an intro section, a big recap to catch everybody up on what's been happening in the STARKADE universe during the year of 2022. We've had a really busy year and we built out a lot of stuff, and I'm going to run through what those things are because it's all going to be culminating into something very exciting. So once again, people are filtering in. Thank you so much for being here, gang. And I'm going to make this as exciting and action-packed as possible. As exciting as one guy talking to himself in his home studio can be. So big recap. So let's go all the way back to our drop back in January of this year. One of the things that came with the fighters of the STARKADE universe, they came bundled with fighter stats. This is something that Lucas, our gaming architect, devised before our project dropped. So fighter stats are random numbers that are associated with every one of the fighters. And you can see your fighter stats if you've not looked into it. Pop over to STARKADE.com, connect your wallet, and go to the fighter dashboard or your personal dashboard, and you can look at all the fighter stats that are associated with your fighter, designed beautifully by Naomi, who handles all of our UI, and executed brilliantly by our front-end developer, Patrick. It looks beautiful, and you should check that out. So shortly after the drop, equipment went live. So in equipping your fighter is basically the keys to the kingdom. So you equip your fighter. We have a random assortment of 10 different pieces of equipment that you can equip your fighter with. Now, that equipment isn't just for show, although I designed them all and they look great. They're not all just for show. They all have unique stats associated with them, again, devised by our gaming architect, Lucas. So depending on what you equip to your fighter, it'll influence your stats differently. So you can actually change the abilities of your fighter, change the abilities of your NFT once you own that. So once you equip, that gives you access to other stuff that I'll be running through during this little intro segment. So then we have the fighter directory, again on STARKADE.com. If you pop over there and click on fighters in the top bar, you'll be brought to our fighter directory. And this is a perfect way of searching and filtering all of our fighters, seeing all the different fighters and all the different combinations of traits and all that kind of stuff, a little bit of rarity, that sort of thing. And you can look up fighters by number, and it's the perfect way to search for that perfect fighter that you want to add to your roster. So if you haven't checked out our fighter directory, do pop over to STARKADE.com and check that out. The Lost Fighters was up next. Now, the Lost Fighters was an airdrop that was given to our community. It was 315 fighters. So it was 300 Lost Fighters and 15 Calamities, which were rolled into our Megastar roster or core characters. And we unrolled the Lost Fighters Endeavor through an interactive storyline over on the Discord. So if you're not involved in the STARKADE Discord, feel free to pop over there, discord.gg/STARKADE. And there is a lovely community of yahoos waiting for you over there. And I'm sure they're all talking trash about me in the chat room right now, but that's okay. We're all friends, I think, until the arena opens and they all kick my face in, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, the Lost Fighters were unrolled through an interactive storyline written by our amazing writer, John. And you can recap all of that stuff if you pop over to the Discord right now. And that was around March or April, I believe, that we rolled out the Lost Fighters. So during the summer, we had our biggest release to date, and that was the Training Ground. So the Training Ground is, again, a way that you can submit your fighter to be trained by one of our megastars or core characters, and your fighter or NFT can learn taunts, fighting styles, and combos, all of which that can be utilized in the upcoming Legion Arena. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But the training ground is a staking mechanism. You plug in your fighter, and then you can pick which megastar you want to train. Now, Lucas did a hell of a lot of work on the back end, building all of the gaming mechanics for the training ground. So every single megastar offers you different taunts, different fighting styles, and different combos, all of which that are going to be usable during battle, right? So this is yet another way that you can actually alter the things that are connected to your NFT or to your fighter, and different with how powerful it is, basically. So the people that have been using training grounds since it's been opening they're gonna have a leg up when Arena goes live, because they're gonna have all of these things that you're not gonna have if you're not involved in the training ground. Now, additionally, when people are training, they're also earning STARKADE credits. Now, our credit system went live, I believe, shortly before Training Ground. I might have my timeline messed up there, but just before Training Ground, our STARKADE credits went live. And the credits are earned through training with megastars. So our megastars will give you updates and also reward you credits if they think you're doing good in training that day, or they won't if they're being stingy. And the credits are redeemable once you complete the training from one of our megastars, and you can claim your credits and your taunts and your fighting styles and your combos, and then switch training to another fighter. And we did the math, and it's going to take something like 2 years to learn everything from all of our megastars. 2 years in normal time, which is a heck of a lot of training. But everything that you do, everything that you learn from our megastars is going to benefit you in the Legion Arena when that goes live. Now, just to take a step away from the digital and talk about the physical a little bit, we have an art book. Now, the art book is it's behind closed doors at the moment. It was a gift made by me and Naomi, encompassing all of the artwork that I've done for the STARKADE project, and all the branding stuff that Naomi has done for the project. And this was made as a gift for our internal team, but we only printed 15, super limited edition, and we allocated one to our boy Void Seeker over in the Discord, who has done an immense amount of work in supporting STARKADE and doing stuff behind the scenes, and helping people when they show up in the Discord. So we allocated an art book to him because we think he deserves it. He's a good dude. But we have 15, and we're going to look for ways to get some of those 15 into people's hands if they want this limited edition STARKADE artifact. We already have one that's hidden in a crate that's in our warehouse. That now's a good time to segue directly into that, isn't it? So our warehouse opened just last week, and that is where people, STARKADE recruiters, showed up to the warehouse and purchased crates. And the crates have items and power-ups and other special items, again, that are usable within the upcoming Legion Arena, which was very fun. And we unrolled that through a 5-day storyline, again written by our amazing writer John, and it followed the trip of Meg and her truck Earl, as they hauled all the crates to the warehouse. But during that 5-day journey across the world of STARKADE, the recruiters decided that they were going to raid or protect that shipment, and were rewarded free crates for their attempts and their ambition. So big thank you to everybody that participated in the warehouse opening, not only buying crates and that sort of thing, but also supporting us during that lead up, because that was really fun to see everybody raiding and protecting, basically trying to steal. I know what you guys were up to. And also some of them got some sandwiches too. So they ended up stealing Meg's lunch, which was also fun. So big thanks to everybody for showing up to that. Now that was a recap. Now there's one thing that I want to point out with that recap before I move into the upcoming stuff, because that's what I know a lot of you are here for, that, like what's coming up. But in that recap, I want to point out the fighter stats, the equipment, the training ground, and the items and power-ups that you get through crates. All of those things have mechanics built into them, unique mechanics. I'm not talking about like you get a +2 on everything if you go into the training ground. Everything has unique mechanics, taunts, fighting styles, combos, and they influence your stats. All of this stuff is going to be culminating in the Legion Arena. And it's been really difficult up until now to try to show people what we're building, because it's like building all the legs of the table before you build the top of it. And you're trying to tell people, I'm building a table, but I can't put anything on it. Yeah, but it will be a table. But everything that we're building up until now has been to service the Legion Arena. So when that's live, all of these numbers are going to come into play, and they're going to interact with the engine that we have going for Legion Arena. So I want to point that out, and I'm sure that won't be the last time that I say that. So moving on to our next segment, coming up, what is coming down the pipe in the STARKADE universe? Well, I'm so excited for this stuff. I'm sure I'm as excited as the people in the Discord. Coming up, we have recruiter profiles. Now, recruiter profiles will be replacing the current dashboard. So again, if you want to pop over to STARKADE.com, connect your wallet, and look at your dashboard, you'll see a lot of the good stuff. You'll see your fighters that are plugged in, fighters that are in training, that sort of thing. But that is getting a revamp into a public, shareable recruiter profile, which is going to be amazing because everybody will have their own link. And you can send somebody directly to your profile so you can see what items they have, what power-ups, what their fighters look like, what their training looks like. We have a lot of stuff that's going to be put into that recruiter profiles, and it's being built as we speak. And I'll get to that in a second. And it's been beautifully designed by our CEO, Naomi. And I cannot wait for this thing to go live just so I can brag up some of the fighters that I have, or so I can look at other people's fighters and feel bad that I don't have enough or my fighters aren't cool enough, which I'm sure is going to happen all the time. So recruiter profiles is our next big step. And on the heels of that, in not very long, is going to be Shipment 002. So obviously we went through Shipment 001. That was last week, but Shipment number 2 is close on the heels. So we're going to have new items, new power-ups, and new special stuff that's going to be coming down the pipe in Shipment 002. You will not be waiting long for that warehouse to be open. So again, if you're not on the Discord, pop over to the Discord. That's when you'll learn about it first. That's discord.gg/STARKADE. And if you want to check out the current warehouse, it's closed. You'll see our big warehouse doors. But pop over to STARKADE.com and click on warehouse at the top. And you can see the closed version of it. That's fun. And all the wonderful stats and inventory that was built into the warehouse as well, you can see. And again, can't bury the lead here. Legion Arena is our next big step in the STARKADE universe. After recruiter profiles, after we get the warehouse open and shut a few times, then we have Legion Arena, which is going to be where you can actually play and battle your fighters against other fighters and take advantage of all of the stuff that I've been talking about this whole damn radio show. That is going to be real fun. All of us are really, really excited about this. And not because we're just working on it or we're biased or whatever, but I want to play this thing. You know, Lucas and I have been talking about this. Well, me, Lucas, and Naomi have been talking about this game since 2016, really, if we want to rewind the clocks all the way back. And it's going to be really, really fun to see everybody fighting their own, fighting their fighters, having battles, also keeping tracks of wins and losses. And it's going to be bundled with a leaderboard. The leaderboard is going to be almost the crown jewel of the STARKADE universe, because that's I can't speak for anybody else, but that is the first place that I'm going to go to when I wake up in the morning, is the leaderboard, to see if there's anybody that's moved up or down and see who the number one recruiter is and that kind of stuff. It is going to be so damn fun to have all of this stuff up and running. And again, taking advantage of all the stuff that I've talked to up until this point. And our last stop on the coming up, of course, is the STARKADE card game. Now, this is what Lucas, Naomi, and I have been working on since 2016. Like, this game really predates NFTs for us. So we had a lot of the world already worked out. We had a lot of the mechanics already worked out. And Lucas has worked in, it's almost a conversation that we're having as we're developing Legion Arena, that we're having a conversation with the card game. So stuff that we've developed in the card game is now changing and shifting based on what we're building for Legion Arena, which is a really interesting position to be in, because we did our gold prototype of the card game last year. It's playable, it's fun, and we can't wait to get this in everybody's hands. But we've realized it can be better. It can be better now, because I better understand the illustration style. I understand our megastars a lot better. Naomi is getting to know the UI and the design a lot better. And Lucas, of course, is working on all the gaming mechanics. So that game is going to be sharpened up as we move closer to the release of that next year. So a lot of stuff happening, and it's a lot of really, really fun stuff. So everything we've done is heading toward Legion Arena. So please keep that in mind, and that won't be the last time you hear me talk about that during these radio sessions, because it's been difficult in this space to try to keep everybody up to date on what we've been doing. And again, if you want a recap of everything that I'm talking about, check out that thread that Naomi pinned to the top of this Twitter Spaces, and you can get a rundown. There's some videos in there, some GIFs and stuff. You can see an example also of the recruiter profiles in there that Naomi put together. So definitely check all that out. So our next segment is the play-by-play. Now, this is the segment that I'm going to be talking about what all the other people on the team are doing. So this is when I'm going to screw up and get everything wrong, and everybody's going to be mad at me, and everybody's going to be crying, and everything's on fire. So hopefully that won't happen. But hey, I don't put anything past myself at this point. So I'm going to start with myself and what I'm working on right now, besides being on this radio broadcast. I'm working on arena art, which is something that has been out in the distance, has been kind of blurry for the last while. For the better part of this year, because as we're building the engine, or as I say as the development team and Lucas have been building the engine, we have to know what that engine sort of is and how it functions in order for me to do illustration for it. But I am full tilt into the arena art, like the main arena backgrounds, like the illustration that you will see when you go to arena is what I'm working on right now. And it is so fun. Like I can't even express how much fun I'm having this thing and actually seeing it come to life. And I'm going to be moving on to what Naomi's working on, because what she's working on blends directly into what I'm working on. So we'll get there in a second. I'm also working on some POAP art, or badges, as we call it. So again, if you pop up to that thread, and if you go to Naomi's amazing UI design for the recruiter profiles, there's a tab right over to the right that's called badges. And, our good buddy DC, Decryptolorian, our community consultant, brought up POAPs ages ago. And, and we said, yeah, we really want to do POAPs, but we really don't want to do just throwaway things that we give to people for showing up to a thing. Because to us, our mantra throughout the whole building of STARKADE is that we want to do things right. We don't want to do things just to do them. We want to do it so they function and they're correct and they're exciting. And badges was that. Because I'm a PlayStation guy. I play the video games. I have a PS4. I'm not like super up to date on it, but I play a PS4. And you get trophies, you get badges, you get all that kind of stuff, and that's exciting because I like looking at the badges that other people have, and that's one of the things that's going to be public on our recruiter profiles. So pay attention to that. Some of them will be retroactive. So you'll get stuff that you've done in the past if you're a recruiter and hanging out in the Discord and participating in some of our Discord activities, and some of them will be current things. If you show up to a thing, you'll get a badge, and that will be publicly noted on your recruiter profile. So that's very exciting, and I'm designing the art for that. But I need Naomi's keen design eye on these things, because I'm an illustrator by trade, and I kind of been faking graphic design for years. So I can't be left alone with that stuff. And of course, I'm working on art for Shipment 002. So that is going to be coming up. As I said, we don't have a firm date, but it will not be far away. So I'm working on, I got to do a couple of force field designs and a couple of other special items that may or may not be those mystery boxes that people picked up. So I got a couple of little art bits that I'm going to be doing for that, which I'm really looking forward to. It's a real challenge. Some of the things I have to design, it's really out of my comfort zone. I should have hired Griff to do some of these things. He's hanging out here, but I'm going to fake it till I make it, right? So moving on to our CEO, Naomi, and what she's been working on. As I said, she's been working on the Legion Arena UI, and that's been kind of the tennis game that Naomi and I have been going back and forth on. I'm doing a lot of the illustration, but some of that illustration will land behind the UI that Naomi's currently putting together. And Naomi's working with Lucas to make sure she's representing everything correctly, and it properly represents the mechanics and the functionality that Lucas built into the game, into the Legion Arena game. So it's a really fun conversation to be having. We had a meeting a couple days ago that was so exciting, and I was illustrating on the fly. Naomi was designing on the fly, and Lucas was, I don't know, drinking pop. I don't know what he was doing, but Lucas was there. He's guiding the ship. So that was like super fun. Naomi's also really into the recruiter profile UI, which is complete actually. And so that has gone over to our front-end developer, Patrick, and I'll get over to Patrick's list in a second. But Naomi's completed the recruiter profile UI, which I can't wait to see in action. It's going to be super fun and super great to share with people. I'm going to put that right in my Twitter bio. You bet your ass. And of course, when merch, that's one of the things that's been thrown around our Discord for quite some time, when merch, and Naomi has been getting the first products into production as best we can amid all of our other work. So we really do, a merch store is on our list, and is definitely something that we want to have on the go before Legion Arena goes live. So we're talking about some exciting merchandise ideas, one of which, hopefully, fingers crossed, is that art book. We want to have an actually good published hardcover version of the art of STARKADE, and we want to get that into people's hands as soon as possible. So very exciting. Can't wait for any of that. All of that. Can't wait for all of that. I can't remember. I don't know how to phrase that. Anyway, this is why I'm not allowed to play with toys on my own. Lucas, moving on to our chief gaming officer. Lucas is currently testing the current build of Legion Arena. Again, that's what we're doing. Legion Arena is like top priority in the STARKADE HQ. So he's busy testing the current build. He's working on chaos effects tables and how players will access them. The chaos effect, I can't speak to that with any amount of knowledge. Obviously, that's Lucas's bag. But in the future, and I'll get to what we want to kind of make these radio sessions into. But I definitely want to have Lucas into one of the segments on the radio show to talk about some of the mechanics. And if you want to learn more about what Lucas does, definitely pop over to the Discord and check out Champions Corner, because he did some in-depth conversations and write-ups about some of the mechanics that he's writing in. So if you want to leg up before Legion Arena goes live, definitely check that out. He's putting the finishing touches on fighting styles and their impact on your fighters. And he's going to have a Champions Corner on that one really soon. So I have some info that I need to get to Lucas regarding fighting styles. But again, fighting styles is something that your fighter learns in the training ground. So I mentioned this earlier. If you have fighters that are not currently in training, pop over to STARKADE.com and plug in your fighters, connect your wallet, and plug in your fighters and get them training with one of the megastars. It's definitely fun to watch the progress. It's all, like I said, beautifully designed. Naomi did an amazing job, and so did Patrick, and so did Dan, to make all of this stuff work. So definitely check that out. And there'll be a Champions Corner coming soon on fighting styles, which I cannot wait for. So John's our amazing lead narrative writer, and he is building the world of STARKADE. Really, I have my head in artwork, and John is writing amazing stories and amazing backgrounds. And before I get into exactly what he's working on, a little while ago, John sent us it's more than a point form list. It's a really fleshed out version of what he's building for our world, going right back into the origins of the planet that STARKADE exists on, right up until the current day, and then into the future of where he plans to go. And it is an amazing document, and there is so much artwork that I want to make for this document. It's wonderful, and I can't share any of it, which is killing me, but it's beautiful. John did a hell of a job on that. So John is currently right now working on the storyline for Shipment 002. So again, we're going to be following our trucker Meg and her truck Earl as they traverse the STARKADE world en route to the STARKADE warehouse. That truck is going to be full of crates, and I know I can depend on you recruiters to not raid the truck and get free crates. I'm gonna count on you to not do that this time. Protect her. Meg needs our help. So he's working on the Shipment 002 storyline. I hope it all goes well for Meg, but John's going to be captain in that ship. And he's also, additionally, he's plotting out the next 3 shipment narratives. So there's going to be a number of shipments. That warehouse is going to be open and then closed and open and closed for 3 different shipments. And he's mapping out the narrative for all of those. And of course, he's continuing the overall story arc and weaving megastars into our world. And he's doing wonderful work. And if you have the opportunity, pop over to STARKADE.com, check out the world link at the top, and you can read some of John's work around the launch of the project. But there's a lot more writing in our channels over at the STARKADE Discord if you want to catch up on all that. In the future, we'll have all this stuff housed appropriately on STARKADE.com, but that'll be down the road because we have a full plate at the moment as we are on the road to Legion Arena. So Dan, our lead back-end developer, Dan is the brains behind the entire engine that runs STARKADE. He built how everything works on the back end, and he is well into the Legion Arena development, and we're approaching something. We're approaching a very, very exciting landmark. I won't say percentages or anything, but some serious headway has been completed on Legion Arena, and we cannot wait to see this thing in action. And he's currently working into fighting styles and a selection of chaos effects. So again, you'll see a lot of these tasks are mirrored in other people on the team. So he's working alongside Lucas on all of this stuff, and has been since February or something like that. It's been ages. So yeah, very exciting to see everything that Dan has been working on. Yeah, we can't wait for everybody to see this stuff. Patrick, our lead front end developer. Anytime you see any of our digital products, Training Ground, the website, anything, that is Patrick's work on the front end. Naomi designs all the UI, and Patrick expertly executes everything. And I'm not saying that because he's on our team and I'm biased. I'm constantly in awe of everything that Patrick executes on the website. Again, pop over to the website and check it out because it's beautiful work. He has completed, obviously, work on the warehouse front end, and he is currently working on Recruiter Profiles front end, formerly the dashboard, and coming up, of course, the Legion Arena front end. So all of our team is kind of coming together for a singular focus, and it's getting really exciting because we're all running at the exact same thing. So really exciting stuff. Thank you for everything, Patrick. Robert and Jack. Robert, the face of the STARKADE Discord. Literally, I've never seen so many damn face swaps in all my life. They are in the Discord every day. They're kicking ass, they're taking names, and Robert is currently resorting the roles to put the focus back on recruiter levels. So those were shuffled around as we had the warehouse promotion going, because people got their recruiter role, their protector role, or their sandwich thief role. And so we put the focus on that, but it's going to be shifting back over to show recruiter fighter numbers, because we have people that have badges signifying if they have up to 24 fighters, up to 50 fighters, up to 100 fighters. I might be missing a number there, but I believe those are the roles that people have, signifying how many they have. Some people have some real hefty rosters, and I'm very, very intimidated because I'm going to get my face kicked in when Arena opens, and there's nothing like losing at your own game. That's fun. So be sure to pop over. Robert is in there all the time, and just a big shout out to everybody that's listening over in the Discord right now. I know you STARKADians are listening. I know you're all talking trash about me, but again, we're all friends, and thank you very much for being there. And anybody that's not involved in our Discord, do pop over. Everybody is super friendly there, and if you're not sure where to begin with STARKADE, people are extremely helpful there. If there's nobody on the team there to help you out, there are people definitely there that will hold your hand and show you how to navigate and what to do first. And we're all friends there. We're all friends until Arena opens. I think that's what Void says all the time. So moving on to our next segment. That's our team. A big thank you to all of the STARKADE team that is working on all this amazing stuff. And moving on to our next segment is a little segment about the community. And I want to give a big shout out to Marwan. I think Marwan is here in the chat. I think I see you there. And Marwan has a collection that is going to be going, that the mint date is November 15th, and he has been nice enough to grant STARKADE holders early access, an early access giveaway. And we really appreciate that, Mar. Thank you very much. The collection name is The Adventures of Hazel and Atwood. It's a collection of digital banners on the Ethereum blockchain. It consists of 1,000 scenes, uniquely generated from over 400 traits. I was on your website earlier today, Marwan, and it looks great. And if everybody wants to check it out, I thought I had the website address here, and I don't. I think it is 2woodies.com. I could be wrong, and Marwan, I apologize, but number 2woodies. Oh, I hope it's .com. I hope I'm getting that right. If you Google number 2 Woodies, I think you'll see that. And it's associated with the Woodies collection, which I'm a big fan of. So Marwan, thank you very much. Big shout out for supplying that lovely giveaway to our community. We all really appreciate it. So this brings me to my outro section. Again, I wanted to whistle through this stuff because I want everybody to get on with their day. I don't want you hanging out here. I don't want to be distracting you for too long. But our outro section. So what is the future of STARKADE Radio? What I'm doing right now? Well, in future episodes, future broadcasts, future sessions, whatever we call these things, we're going to be fleshing out the segments. We're going to have recurring things, so you know what to expect. Obviously, we're going to have some alpha on this thing. This will be the thing to tune into to figure out what the news and what's going on and what's coming up. And but also, I really want to have some of our team members on this radio show to talk about the specific tasks that they're doing, because obviously they can flesh out what they're doing in terms of their jobs and what they're creating far better than I can. So I'd love to have people on here from the team come on here, and I'm sure they'll have no problem with that, because the idea of me being on here all by myself, I'm sure they're all sweating bullets. Like, we can't leave him alone to do this and actually pull it off. So they're going to want to come in here and keep track of me, so I'm not saying anything at a turn. And I also want to have some special guests on here as well, because I know a lot of people in the creative industry, and I know a lot of people in the NFT scene, and a lot of like-minded people that are supporters of STARKADE, and we're supporters of their projects as well. And I would love to have special guests on here. So pop over to the Discord and give me some suggestions on who I should reach out to and have as a special guest on this, because that would be super, super fun. So, gang, I just want to say a big thank you for showing up to this for the first inaugural STARKADE radio session. I didn't mention at the beginning, but I'm also recording this. I have my camera on, and this will be uploaded to the Discord. So if you missed seeing this live, this is being recorded on Twitter Spaces, but if you missed the Twitter version, there'll be a version of it uploaded to the Discord channel in our recordings. Discord server in the recordings channel, and I'll upload this whole thing so everybody can get caught up on everything. If you want to see me talking into my phone, that'll be really, really exciting. So pop over there, and that'll be available real soon. And again, as I said at the beginning, pop over to STARKADE.com if you want to get caught up on everything that we've been doing. Check out that thread that's pinned to the top of this Twitter Spaces if you want to get a recap on everything that I've talked about, to see some visuals and that sort of thing. Hey, you know what? I forgot to mention something. DC, goddammit, I skipped over your spot on my spreadsheet here. Decryptolorian is one of our team members, and I forgot to mention what we're working on. What the hell's wrong with me, DC? I am fired. DC is our wonderful community consultant, and me and DC were actually plotting a few live appearances and presentations that we have coming up in the next few weeks. Naomi and I appeared at the Refresh online event a couple of weeks ago. We had a whole slideshow presented, but it would have been cumbersome to kind of go back and forth and show the whole presentation. So we're going to be working with DC on doing our presentation live. And I want to say next week, but I think that's a little ambitious. So it might be in 2 weeks. We're going to ramp it up properly, do the proper promo. We're going to put together an Eventbrite so you can get your free ticket and be reminded when it goes live. And Naomi and I will do our full presentation. It's going to be like an hour with full visuals, video, everything else, and talk about everything and show everything that we're working on for STARKADE, and stuff that we've done and stuff that we will be doing. And DC is also part of the whale community, so we're talking about possibly doing a little interview and a little segment over there for the lovely whale community. So DC, big shout out, man. I apologize for missing out on you. I don't know how I skipped over your column on my table here, but it happened, and this is why I cannot be left alone to do anything. So anyway, thank you again for hanging out, everybody. Again, drop by our Discord, discord.gg/STARKADE, if you want to catch up on everything that's been going on and hang out with our wonderful community over there. And drop by STARKADE.com to see everything that we've been doing. See our star map. We've hit all of our marks so far. The dates have shifted around, but we have hit all of our promises so far, and we are on the road to Legion Arena. And that is going to be the big topic on a lot of these radio sessions, is Legion Arena, because we're all very excited about it. And man, we are blazing a trail with this thing. I cannot wait to show you guys what we've been working on. And and if you want a quick start on how to get involved in the STARKADE community, pop over to OpenSea, grab a fighter off the floor. You know, they are not that expensive these days. Grab a fighter, pop over to STARKADE.com, connect your wallet, pop them into training with one of our megastars. And if you're not sure where to start with training, pop into our Discord, because there's lots of people over there that can help you out and give you suggestions on who to train with based on the stats and equipment that you have applied on your fighter. So thank you very much for hanging out, everybody. Again, my name is James White. I go by Signalnoise online. I am the CCO of STARKADE. And thank you to all of our team who's doing a bang-up job. And like I said, I will have this recording. You'll be able to see it, I believe, for a little while on Twitter, and I'll put it on the Discord for everybody to catch up on everything. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you this time next week for another STARKADE radio session. Thanks again, gang. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Stay rad.